There's a strange shift that happens when you stop reaching out to a woman, and it is far more powerful than most men ever realize. The moment you go silent, the entire dynamic changes. Most men think silence makes her forget, move on, or stop caring. But that's not how female psychology works. In truth, silence creates uncertainty, and uncertainty keeps attraction alive. This is Mind Hack Stoic, and today we're unlocking one of the most misunderstood truths about women and attraction. Because when you pull back, her mind begins to react in ways you might not expect. Most men believe that being constantly available, texting all the time, checking in, or showing affection non-stop makes her feel secure. But that's a lie. Overchasing suffocates attraction. It kills the spark before it even begins. When you stop contacting her, when you stop feeding that validation loop, something deeper starts to shift, both in her mind and in yours. This isn't about manipulation or playing childish games. It's about understanding how emotion, ego, and human psychology truly work. When you step back, when your energy disappears, she starts to feel something she hasn't felt in a long time. Curiosity. She starts asking herself questions she can't easily answer. Did you lose interest? Did she push you away? Are you seeing someone else? Those questions spark emotions, and emotions create connection. That's why silence is such a dangerous tool. It speaks louder than words. At first, she might act like she doesn't care. She may stay distant or even colder than before. But underneath that mask, her mind is processing the absence of your attention. She remembers the rhythm, your messages, your energy, your presence, and suddenly it's gone. That absence hits her like a wave. It's not your words she misses. It's the reassurance your attention gave her. You were a constant presence in her emotional world, and now that presence is missing. Her brain starts running through scenarios, trying to make sense of what changed. Even the most confident woman feels it, because silence interrupts her comfort. People notice when a pattern breaks, and silence breaks it completely. It's not always about love. Often, it's about ego. Your attention once validated her importance, and losing that makes her question her value in your eyes. That's why silence hurts, because it makes her face herself. After that initial shock, uncertainty begins to take over. And uncertainty is one of the strongest forces in attraction. When you're always texting, calling, or showing up, she knows exactly where you stand. You're predictable, comfortable, and accessible. That gives her control, but when you go quiet, that control disappears. That's when curiosity transforms into obsession. Women are emotional detectives. When something feels off, they don't ignore it. They analyze it. They replay old conversations, scroll through old messages, and read between lines that don't exist. They wonder if you lost interest, if you're testing them, or if they said something wrong. But here's what keeps her hooked. You don't give her answers. And when there are no answers, her mind fills in the blanks with imagination, emotion, and longing. That's how mystery builds. Most men ruin it by reaching out, explaining themselves, or trying to reassure her. But reassurance kills curiosity, and curiosity is what keeps her thinking about you. Scarcity always creates value. When she can't access your attention, she starts realizing how much she actually valued it. She may feel frustrated, even angry, but that's good, because anger is still an emotional investment. Your silence ties her emotions back to you, even if she pretends it doesn't. That's why silence stings more than words ever could. Words can be explained, argued, or brushed aside, but silence can't be ignored. It forces her to sit with her thoughts, to feel the emptiness where your presence used to be. Every unanswered message becomes a mirror of her own doubts. Every quiet moment becomes a question mark. And slowly, that silence starts to echo louder than any text you could send. It's a paradox. Your absence becomes your presence. The less you do, the more she feels it. The less you speak, the more she listens. That's why silence is powerful. It doesn't push her away. It pulls her in. But beyond emotions, silence also hits her ego. Most women are used to validation, to being chased, to having men compete for their attention. When you stop doing that, you break the pattern she's used to. She may act indifferent, But deep down, she notices. Suddenly, the woman who always seemed in control starts to lose her grip. She checks her phone more. She thinks of ways to get your attention back, maybe through stories, subtle messages, or random excuses to talk. That's not coincidence. That's ego shock. She's used to being desired, and now she feels what men feel, uncertainty and doubt. That flip in power shifts everything. Because when a man no longer needs validation, he becomes unpredictable, and unpredictability fuels desire. That's when attraction becomes a risk. When she knows she has you, there's no thrill, no challenge. But when you go silent, she starts associating attraction with danger, the fear of losing you. That emotional risk makes her feel something real again. It makes her want to close the gap, to get back what she's losing. That inner conflict, wanting you but fearing your distance, is what reignites her attraction. She might tell herself not to care, not to text, not to chase, but deep down she can't help but think about you. That's the silent pull of psychological tension. And here's what most men don't realize. When she pulls away, it's not always rejection. Sometimes it's a test. She wants to see how strong your frame really is. If you chase, panic, or start explaining, you fail. You show that her silence controls your emotions, and she loses respect. But if you stay calm, centered, and detached, she realizes something powerful. She can't control you. That quiet strength is magnetic. It separates the men she dates from the men she desires. The right response to distance isn't panic, it's patience. You let her feel your absence. You keep living, keep moving, keep improving. You let her feel what life is like without your presence, and if she truly values it, she'll return, but with more respect. And when she does, you don't reward her with desperation. You respond with calm energy, grounded and confident. That's what separates the average man from the stoic man. A stoic doesn't chase chaos, he observes it. He doesn't beg for validation, he earns respect through composure. That's the kind of presence women never forget. Because attraction isn't built through words or promises. It's built through mystery, restraint, and emotional control. Silence becomes your power when it comes from strength, not fear. When you can stay still while the world expects you to react, you become unforgettable. So next time she pulls away, don't panic, don't chase, don't explain. Stay calm, focused, and disciplined. Because when you master silence, you master yourself. And when you master yourself, you become the kind of man no one can replace. This is Mind Hack Stoic, where calm becomes power and power becomes peace.